want to show everyone your pretty necklace? Hey, everyone. Fuzzy Butters wanted to say hi. Oh. Where did I go? Let's look at the camera. She got a new necklace from her daycare. Hi. Hi, superstar. I like munching on mommy's thumb and fingers. Hi. Okay. Why don't you face the camera? Hey guys, I've got a tag video for you today. I don't do these often, so I'm really excited for this one. I was actually tagged by my friend here on YouTube, Stephanie Marie. I will link down to her channel and her tag video. I'm sure you guys know who she is. She's wonderful. She's one of the most well-spoken YouTubers I have ever come across. The eloquence is so admirable. But anyway, I love her. She's gorgeous and she has awesome foundation road tests. She puts like foundations really through the ringer. So if you're interested in videos like that, well, if you're interested in beauty at all, go check her out. So she started a tag called Beauty Brand Superstars. All right, so I picked out 10 brands to talk about what I thought were their, I don't know, top 1 or 2, I think sometimes I have 3 things in there, top 3 products, and the purpose behind this tag, which I thought was genius. Stephanie Marie said that she wanted to give people like a starting point if they wanted to kind of dip their toe into a particular brand, because it's so overwhelming. Every brand has so many products. There's so many products when you walk into Sephora or department store or Ulta, anywhere. So she thought that this was a great way to kind of help people, and I totally agree. I thought this was brilliant. So if you're interested in hearing what my top picks are for 10 brands, then just keep on watching. I don't know if you guys can hear that squeaky toy, but she's playing downstairs. It just happens to be the world's loudest squeaky toy, so you'll probably hear it throughout this video. I apologize. So let's jump right into it. My first brand, no surprise, is Tom Ford. Tom Ford has a very large line of makeup. But the first thing I'm going to recommend to you is not actually makeup, but it is beauty related, and those are his brushes. And I have 2 of his brushes that I just think every person needs. They're just fantastic. And you guys have heard me talk about the bronzer brush before. I love it so much I have a backup. Still in its box. I'm like, I don't want to ruin 2. I just want to kind of continue using this one, and then if I just happen to need another bronzer brush and this one's really dirty, I can whip this one out. But that just goes to show you how much I love this brush. So the Tom Ford bronzer brush is a must. The other brush that I think is a must is his number 13 shadow brush, and this is a round ferruled natural bristle haired brush, and this is just the perfect round blending brush. It's just awesome. It blends anything out. I mean, absolutely anything. And it's absolutely gorgeous, and I have a backup of that too, which I haven't opened either. But I love this brush. I use this brush probably every single time I put on eye makeup. It's that one brush I will like kind of darken out the outer V and start blending it out. You probably see me use this brush almost every single time I do a demo. So those 2 brushes by Tom Ford, I highly recommend. If you're into natural haired bristle brushes, then get these as soon as you can, because he is definitely discontinuing them. I keep hearing different rumors or whatever, but apparently, yes, synthetic fibers are coming. So if you want natural haired, run out and get these. And then I feel like this isn't a really fun product either, but this is his fiber brow gel. I love this fiber brow gel, and every time I mention this, people always suggest other things, and I go out and I try all those other things, and none of them, I tell you, none of them live up to the Tom Ford fiber brow gel. It's like his mascara, which is also excellent. The consistency of the gel is consistent throughout its opening. So it's not like one of those things, it needs to dry out and then it's like kind of perfect texture and then it's too dry. I have had this one bottle open for a very long time and it still works great. It has the perfect amount of fibers in there. It has the perfect amount of tackiness, but it's not too hard. Like there are some clear brow gels that I just can't stand using because I feel like I have like crunchy face and I can't stand that. And this is just awesome. It is just awesome. Again, a rumor is that it's being discontinued, but I'm seeing the inventory being replenished at, you know, its retailers, so I'm not sure what's going on, but I did hear that this is being discontinued. I have a backup of this as well, so again, you know that I love this. So the Fiber Brow Gel, I can't find anything close to this. Okay, next up we have Surratt Beauty. You guys know I have an infatuation with this entire line. So this was incredibly hard. Actually, all of this was incredibly hard to pick. The first thing I had to mention with Surratt Beauty is the eyelash curler. This eyelash curler, I mean, aside from it being very, very beautiful, I love the matte black finish. It is very wide, and it's not quite as, I don't know how I can show you, it's not quite as curved as some of the other ones. And if you have kind of like flatter eyes, I guess I have flatter, kind of wider eyes, this eyelash curler is the best, and it never pinches. I seem to always have like pinchy problems with other ones. I would imagine that this is completely personal, but if you've had issues where you find that it's too curved or it's always kind of like pinching your eyelids, give this a shot. Give this a shot. I think you would really, really like this. I also have to recommend his Prismatique lips. Now, I love all of his lip products. This, again, was really, really difficult to choose. So his Prismatique lips come in this kind of rectangle tube, and it's metal. And the idea behind these is that they all have kind of a prismatic effect, and they can be worn alone, obviously, or they can be worn over a different lip color, and you're going to give that lip color like a little bit of a shift to it. It's just a lot of fun. So this is the Paillettes, which is like this really pretty pink color. By itself, it gives your lips this really beautiful, kind of youthful glow. Other one I would recommend is Nouveau Riche. And this one is more of like a gold neutral color. And this just adds like a really lustrous shine to any other lip color or your own lips by themselves. I tend to wear these by themselves just because I think they're so pretty on their own. But yeah, but you can wear them over something else if you want. And then just as sort of a general category, I don't think you can go wrong with any of the Surratt eyeshadows. Any one of them. Take your pick. Well, I have 12 right here, and the formula for these, all of them, all the finishes are they're so beautiful. These are manufactured in Japan, and as I understand it, all of these powders were originally liquids, and then they're just sort of baked down to what you see here. So there's a real, I wouldn't even actually call these powders very creamy, but there is like a melting factor. There's like a, you know, you put it on, it's clearly powder, it's very powdery, but somehow it starts to kind of like melt into your skin. They're so unique and they're so beautiful. Give one a try. Just get one of the little eyeshadows. They come like this. You're supposed to get, he has these cases that hold 6 or 4 eyeshadows, and it has like a sticker on the back you peel off and you stick in here. I didn't mind these in the beginning, but now that I'm realizing I'm kind of like trying to reconfigure things, I don't really like the system so much. I wish that they were magnetic. But all of that to say is you don't really need to get these because the single shadows they come with this cover. So they're not like typical single shadows where they're just in a pan and like you really have to put them in something. They're completely encased in plastic. So they're kind of like self-contained and you really don't have to get the palette. So anyway, get one of these shadows. If you haven't tried, just get one. Pick a color that you think that you would wear all the time. You need to feel the texture of these shadows and you'll fall in love, and then you'll know where to go from there. But they're wonderful, absolutely wonderful. All right, next up we have Chantecaille, and I actually have this on my face today. This is the Just Skin Tinted Moisturizer. It has an SPF of 15. This is by far my favorite kind of like everyday, no makeup kind of look. And not to say that this doesn't really have coverage. This actually has more coverage than most tinted moisturizers I've come across. It just has this perfecting quality. It just makes my skin look really soft. And I just love it. I use the shade Vanilla, which is very brightening for my skin tone. So sometimes if I'm feeling a little bit high maintenance, I'll use the shade Glow, which is deeper, and I'll use that on my forehead and kind of blend that down onto my face. Because this is a little bit light for up here, but nothing bronzer can't fix. But Vanilla is the shade that I use generally. I just love it, and it has such a nice creamy texture. It just glides onto the skin. It works in beautifully. It doesn't break up. You can't notice the SPF at all. It is absolutely stunning. And then the other Chantecaille product I cannot get enough of are these Compact Soleil bronzers. So I have 2 shades. St. Bart's is actually what you guys recommended to me as an actual bronzer. It is very, very light. It is on the warmish side. It has like a peach undertone. It's quite lovely, and I like it when I just want a nice kind of dusting of color. It's really beautiful. It's really natural. It's very in line with Chantecaille and its aesthetics. But the first one that I purchased is Capri, which is this shade, and this is like a true peach. So I use this as a blush, and it is just gorgeous. So there's St. Bart's and there's Capri. The texture of the Chantecaille powders is so fine. They're so silky. You really feel like you're running your finger across like a silk fabric. They're just gorgeous. They are something you really have to feel to believe. All right. Charlotte Tilbury is next, and no surprise, her Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder. I just love it. It is weightless. You've heard me talk about this a gazillion times. I hit pan so long ago, but I'm still trying to kind of make my way around it. There's still plenty of powder left, so I am not giving up on it. It is undetectable on the skin. It is really, really weightless. It's gorgeous. If you haven't tried it, definitely give it a shot. I love it. I absolutely love it. I use the shade 1 Fair, no surprise. And the other products is I tried to kind of whittle it down between these 2 things, but I think this kind of comes down to personal preference. So the Film Star Bronze and Glow is hands down kind of like my desert island contour highlight. If I had to choose one, or if my house was on fire and I needed to grab one and go, this is the one that I would grab. I just love it. It's so universal for me. It goes with any kind of look that I'm going for. It always seems to work, whether I'm a little bit paler, a little bit darker, it just works. And the highlight is so beautiful. It has like a little bit of like a peachy warmth to it, and then it has this like really kind of satiny sheen. It's just gorgeous. So the Film Star Bronze and Glow, and with that, the Beauty Light Wands or the Beauty Contour Wand. So I think it kind of depends on your preference. Do you like powder or do you like cream? But I love these both. And if you want like a banging highlight or really, really strong contour, use this first and then layer this on top. You can't go wrong. These are both really, really beautiful. All right, next up we have Armani. This may come as a surprise because I don't think I mentioned this very much. I don't know why, but one of my all-time favorite bronzers, and I've been using this for so long, is the Armani Sun Fabric, I think is what it's called. Yeah, Sun Fabric. I have in the shade 100. I actually don't even know if they've changed this up. I've had this particular compact for so long, and this is the second one that I have. And this is different from the previous one that I had, which I think was like the original release of the bronzer. In any case, I just love it. It is a beautiful, beautiful matte bronzer. It has just a really lovely neutral tone to it. And it's great. It's one of those bronzers I feel really comfortable kind of just brushing it all over my face if I just want to kind of look a little bit more tan instead of using it, you know, in contoury types of places. I just love it. I love the texture of it. It's just gorgeous. I just love the tone. And one of the very first things I ever bought from Armani was the Fluid Sheer. This is, I think, the 3rd bottle I'm on. Not that I've ever finished. This is a very large bottle of liquid highlighter, but they've gone bad. That's how long I've been using this. But the Fluid Sheer in number 2 is just stunning. It's just a really, really beautiful, thin kind of highlighter. It just gives your skin just a little bit of something. There is the number 2. Pretty universal, and that's why I like these Fluid Sheers, because they're sheer. So it just gives your skin this finish as opposed to any sort of like pigmentation per se. So I just love them. They are gorgeous. And then the third thing, I was trying to limit myself to 2 things, but you know, obviously I got out of control, and I think I've been mentioning 3 things for every brand. The third thing is these Lip Maestros by Armani. I am not a matte liquid fan. I don't like liquid lipsticks in general. And this is something that is not exactly a liquid lipstick. And the finish it gives is velvety, I think is how they describe it, which is so accurate. But I just love this. This is the color 202. I think it's a beautiful neutral color. The finish is great because it's matte, but it doesn't look dry. Again, it's very velvety, and it's gorgeous. It's just a great everyday lip, and it's a step above like a no makeup look because it's pigmented. It'll make your lips like, it'll give it like a strong look, but that's really nice. If you kind of, want to use like a light hand everywhere else on your face, this is great if you just want to add like a nice bold lip. There's a ton of colors, a lot of pinks, a lot of reds. This is one of the neutral ones. I just love it. All right, next up I have Hourglass. I love this ambient metallic strobe lighting palette. This is their answer to the highlighter. It is stunning. It's what I have on my cheeks today up here. They can be as bright and metallic as you want. You can build them up, or you can lay down like a nice thin layer of it and really kind of like buff it out, and they're just gorgeous. They're really beautiful. They're the 3 highlighters. They're so soft and they're so easy to pick up in the pan. Like they're not fussy powders. Like they just work really well all the time. So the Hourglass Ambient Metallic Strobe Lighting Palette I love, and the Ambient Lighting Palette I love. What can I say? I think these ambient powders are like the core of their line. They're so beautiful. They can act as either really subtle highlight if you're not really into that like beaming highlight look. You just want something that just kind of makes your skin look satiny, gives it a little bit of a glisten, not too much, not like too metallic at all. These are not metallic at all. Or they make a really nice finishing powder if you want like an all over kind of lighted, filtered, blurred effect to your skin. These are so great. Because the powder is so soft, they go on like a little bit thick. So if you're going to use it all over your face, I definitely wouldn't go in with like a heavy hand. I would build it up very slowly. I would, definitely dust it on very lightly, and you will see it immediately. And they have them in individual pans if you want just one big individual color. For my skin tone, I love Luminous Light. That one is gorgeous, but this one is great because it has dim light, incandescent light, which is, I believe, exclusive to this palette, and then radiant light. All right, next we have NARS. I just want to give you a little bit of backstory when it comes to NARS. I love NARS, and when I first started wearing NARS, this was like right out of college, and I had really bad eczema, especially on my upper lip. And the NARS lipstick, at least back then, really brought it out. Every time I would kind of cure my eczema with steroid cream, I would go out, I would buy a new lipstick because I was excited I could wear one again. I would go and I'd buy a NARS one, I would put it on, and my eczema would come back. I have this history with NARS lipsticks, and so I just have never purchased them ever since. So a lot of people always ask me when I talk about NARS, they're like, oh, you have to try the Audacious lipstick, you have to try, this and that. And I'm like, I want to, and it would probably be fine now because I pretty much have kicked my eczema. Their formula has probably changed 10 times since then, but I just have this history with it. So anyway, that's why I'm not mentioning any NARS lipsticks, because I don't have any and I don't buy any, but that may change. So anyway, what I do have and what I do love is the NARS Crystal, the setting powder. That is not the right name. It is the light reflecting setting powder pressed, and the colorway is Crystal. I love this. This is such a great powder. It's so weightless, and it looks really white, and it even looks like it has like micro glitters in there, but that does not translate onto the skin. It kind of, I don't know if you can see it in the pan, it kind of looks pearly, but all it does is really kind of like brighten up like your under eye area. If you were to set your concealer with this under your eyes, it just sort of brightens your eyes. So it has a little bit more of a brightening effect than say like the Charlotte Tilbury powder, which is like just completely translucent for me. This has like a nice kind of like magical brightening effect. It's really beautiful, and it's really weightless. When I first got it though, it definitely has this like layer on top. You kind of have to scrape through that, just so you know, in case you do get this. It is it's gorgeous. And then the other NARS product that I had to mention was their blushes. I love this one. This is Madly. This to me is one of those perfect neutral shades, and many of his blushes have like a little something to them. So like I keep mentioning, I don't really like matte blushes or contours and bronzers and stuff. So this has like just a little bit of a sheen to it, and it's just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. It's such a beautiful neutral shade. So this is another one that I feel like there's a fire in my house, I would run and get this. All right, 2 more to go. Oh my gosh, I feel like I've been talking forever. So next we have Viseart, and we all talk about the eyeshadows, but it's like there's so many different palettes, and like, what do I get? Where do I start? And I would say if you've never tried any of their palettes and you're not exactly sure where to start, I would get one of the Theory palettes. I have one of them, and this is in Cashmere, and these are the palettes that come in this like fold out design, and there's 6 shadows, and this is like a magnetized, I almost said metallic, a magnetized pan here, and you can just pop the shadows out if you want. So I think they have like, I know they just came out with 2 new ones. One has like, is like a green themed, and one is more of like a peachy theme. I love this Cashmere one because I just think it's a great neutral. If I'm traveling and I know I'm just, I'm not gonna be doing any sort of like fancy crazy look or whatever, maybe I'm traveling for work, then this is like perfect. And it has 3 mattes, 3 shimmers, and it's just great. It's a great way to kind of see if you like the Viseart formula, and it's just a great starting point. Along with that is the Viseart Petite Pro palette, and this is another one that I really, really love. Because it has a mirror, and it has 8 different shadows in here. They're much smaller, but you have 4 mattes and 4 shimmers, and they're just wonderful. And I like, if I had to recommend the Petite Pro 1 or the 2, I would go with 1, only because it's a little bit more neutral and a little bit more kind of like everyday wearable, but it's just great. So I would get one of the Theory palettes or the Petite Pro 1. Yeah, so these are really, really good, kind of like gateway drugs. You're gonna start with these, and then you're gonna be like, I need the rest, I need the rest. And then let's talk about Chanel. So this may come as a surprise, but I love the Chanel nail polishes. They're just great. I've had some of these for well over 10 years, and they still work wonderfully. They go on easily. They actually last a long time as well. I mean, aside from having a very long shelf life, they actually last on your nails a long time, but they're great. And I love all the colors that I've gotten from them. They're just wonderful. And if you're into nail polish, I would give these a shot. I think they're really cool. I also love their Longwear concealer. I talk about this endlessly, so I won't linger too long, but this is a great concealer. Just awesome. And then the last thing I would recommend from Chanel are their Ombre Premier eyeshadows. They come in a pot, and the newer versions are more of like this putty kind of texture. Their older ones were a little bit more like foamy and softer. They were like spongy. They were like actually a very unique kind of texture. But these are really nice. I find these to last a lot longer on the lids than those. I find these to be easier to work with. The spongier texture ones, I felt like I kind of picked up a little bit too much product sometimes, but these are really, really great. And this is in the shade Undertone. I think this is just a really lovely, I actually have it on my lids. A really lovely kind of everyday 1 shade kind of color, and you can just kind of add mascara and you're done. Okay, and last but not least, let's talk about Gucci. I am loving this blush. This is Spicy Petal, and it is just such a lovely, lovely blush color. I'm gonna swipe it right underneath here. It has like a pinky peachy color. It has a beautiful kind of like golden sheen. It's stunning. I just bought this recently when I was in New York, and I was like, okay, let me give it a shot. And it's one of those things that like I love it more and more every single time I put it on my skin. I'm like, oh my god, this blush is so pretty. So I love their blushes. I have another one, Nude Freesia, which is lovely as well, but I just happen to like the Spicy Petal colorway a little bit more right now, so I would recommend this one, the Spicy Petal. And I also love the Gucci Pigment Rich Lipstick. I have it in the shade Rose Draguet. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but this is just a really, really lovely formula. It is well, it's highly pigmented, as you can see. It is creamy without it feeling like too emollient, but it's not matte. It just has a really nice natural sheen to it. This color also happens to be kind of like a My Lips But Better kind of color. I really love it. It has like that, kind of like that cocoa scent, but it's not too strong. It's a little bit, well, it's faded on mine already. I've had this lipstick for a while, but I just love it. I think this formula is lovely, and I think this color is really, really great for every day. So that is it for my beauty brand superstars. Let me know if you have any questions down below. Obviously, I couldn't mention all the things that I wanted to. I also couldn't mention all the brands that I wanted to. I had a few more on my list, but I figured let's just talk about these. Maybe we can do it again. I just didn't want this video to last way too long. It's already way too long. So give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Definitely check out Stephanie Marie's video. She also has in her description box all the other people she tagged. So if you're interested in this kind of video, you can go over to their channels and see what they did, if they've done it. And please subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you in my next video.